So lads, Alyssa Thomas, in what is a annoying but unsurprising situation, has completely exposed Stephanie White and has completely exposed a lot of the things that, you know, people that are the Stephanie White detractors have said about her, and I will always stand by this.
Indiana Fever's nightmare in Phoenix. The Fever flew into Phoenix thinking they were battling for a playoff spot, but what they actually got was a public takedown from none other than Alyssa Thomas herself. And this wasn't your casual post-game comment. Nah, this was the "I've seen this coach for too long, I'm to spill all the tea" level of shade. Stephanie White had to be seeing red. Imagine one of your former stars going on record basically saying, "Yeah, we knew every single move you were going to make." That's not a scouting report, that's a full-blown expose. Let's rewind. The Fever lost. Again, shocking? Maybe not. But here's the kicker: fans are done with White's tired, recycled Connecticut Sun offense and watching the team fold like a cheap tent against the Mercury. Brutal. It wasn't just any loss. This was the kind of loss where all the usual excuses fall flat. Caitlin Clark sidelined? Check. Sophie Cunningham unavailable? Check. But the real truth? Alyssa Thomas called it, the schemes just don't work anymore because the entire league knows them inside out. If the Fever want to survive, they need a major shakeup because right now the whole league is reading them like an open book.
Usually, I mean, like you said, we played, 2 years? Everything's pretty much the same, so defense, offense, we know everything there.
Indiana Fever's playbook exposed. Seriously, pause for a second. The coach of the Indiana Fever is running a playbook so ancient and predictable, her former players can map out every move before tip-off. Enter Alyssa Thomas. She wasn't just talking, he backed it up with 23 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds. Almost a triple-double, all while casually telling the world, yeah, this isn't even hard. We already know what's coming. And the confidence? Pure, I'm reading tomorrow's newspaper today. Energy. The message is clear. If the Fever want to survive, they need more than recycled plays because the league already knows every single move.
Yeah, I said earlier, we know everything they're trying to run. So we just form a game plan around that, and yeah, we know they're a team that loves to get to the free throw line, and our goal is just to limit second chance opportunities and just do best about that.
Alyssa Thomas exposes. Stephanie White live. Here's where it gets messy. Stephanie White isn't just any coach, he's Alyssa Thomas's former coach. Supposedly someone who knows every part of her game. Strengths, weaknesses, everything. So what happens? Alyssa just exposes her. Live on national TV. It's like a magician revealing another magician's tricks right on stage. Not just smart gameplay, his is straight up humiliation. And the fans, they didn't miss a beat. The online reaction was instant chaos. How do you even compete when the other team literally knows your entire script? The harsh truth, you can't. You simply cannot compete when your head coach is running a basic cut and paste system that opponents have been practicing against for years. White tried to convince the Fever that adjustments were coming, but Alyssa made it crystal clear there aren't any.
Defense, offense, you guys might have heard it because it's really low, but defense, offense, it's all the same. We know everything they're about to do. We know everything like they're about to do.
Drama alert. Dana Bonner versus Caitlin Clark. And then there's Dana Bonner. Oh yes, things just got spicy. Caitlin Clark and Bonner had words. And let me tell you, it was absolutely glorious to watch. The tension, the energy, the raw emotion, fans could feel it through the screen. This isn't just basketball. It's full-blown WNBA drama at its finest.
You see Caitlin Clark to the right behind the coach coming out and
WNBA chaos, Indiana Fever's nightmare season. Picture this: Caitlin Clark telling Dana Bonner to take her tall, agenda-driven self and walk it down the court. Bonner towering over Clark, jawing right back, trying to intimidate her, but Caitlin doesn't back down. Not an inch. That's the Moxie Fever fans signed up for. But here's the tragedy. It's all wasted under Stephanie White's watch. Clark's insane firepower is trapped in a system the league has memorized. Let's be real. This isn't about one bad game. It's about a coach completely out of her depth. Stephanie White has won exactly one more game than Christy Sides did last year, even with a far stronger roster, one game. Let that sink in. We were sold on White as the big upgrade, the steady hand to take Caitlin Clark Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hall to the next level. Instead, the Fever look like a cheap knockoff of last year's squad. The players' frustration is blindingly obvious. Aaliyah Boston, last year's Rookie of the Year, looks lost half the time, missing layups, being shut down, and honestly, fans are comparing her struggles to Angel Reese. And that's not even fair to Angel, who's still hitting more shots. Kelsey Mitchell quietly drops 29 points solid, but it doesn't shift momentum. The system fails to make her scoring bursts game-changing. Lexi Hall gives everything, proving she's basically the only player consistently hitting when it counts. But one player's hustle can't cover a broken system. And then there's Alyssa Thomas, casually saying, "We know everything they're about to do." Bam. That explains it all. The league knows the plays, the defense knows where Boston's going, and the Fever are stuck in neutral. This isn't just a loss. It's a full-blown system meltdown. A team trapped under predictable coaching, and a roster full of talent going to waste.
This is the biggest reason why Stephanie White, I think, has been such a success with the Indiana Fever, because they're playing Connecticut Sun basketball. Stephanie White is good at dragging teams down to her level. And you might have said, oh, but like, what about the game? And I do think that 1,000,000% Alyssa Thomas is a front runner. I think Alyssa Thomas is a front runner. She literally set her career high and didn't even go in for the press conference because Stephanie White beat her. And the difference is the reason why the Fever won that game was nothing to do with their sets and their offense. It was everything to do with Ari McDonald just going head down straight to the basket. And Nate Tibbetts willing to let Ari McDonald drop 30.
WNBA chaos. Alyssa Thomas exposes Indiana Fever live. Here's where the sarcasm writes itself. Stephanie White has been so utterly outcoached that Alyssa Thomas didn't even try to hide it. No coded language, no cliches. Just, we know everything they're about to do. And you can't buy honesty like that. Alyssa didn't just expose the playbook. She exposed the entire illusion this coaching staff has been desperately building all season. Think bigger picture. The Fever are barely clinging to a playoff spot, choking at the absolute worst time. 4 wins in their last 10 games. Same as the Storm and the Sparks. LA is 1 game back. And Chicago? Hot garbage, but even they are laughing. If the Fever collapse now, it's not injury. It's a coach refusing to evolve. Same old Sun-style offense. 0 defensive adjustments. A bizarre reliance on Isabel, even when Clark isn't playing Alyssa, just validated every complaint. White isn't adjusting. She's recycling. Here's the kicker. Alyssa Thomas and Dana Bonner aren't just opponents. They're White's former players, her favorites. Watch White on the sideline. Does she look like a coach fully invested in her team? Or someone torn between past and present? And the media? Silent. Absolutely silent. No tough questions. 0 accountability. Meanwhile, Alyssa spoke what fans scream every game with undeniable authority. Now the Sting, Caitlin Clark, might not return this season. Why would she? Why risk her body for a system everyone knows? Clark will return when she's ready, but she's looking at this coaching disaster and thinking, do I really want to jump back into this mess? White has failed to protect players, maximize strengths, or adjust on the fly. And when opponents openly clown your schemes, that's not a red flag, it's a 5-alarm fire. Alyssa exposed the dirty agenda. The facade is crumbling. The Fever can't hide behind injuries or excuses. One of White's former players just aired the truth, and it's damn. Watch the tape. Mercury knew exactly when to double Boston, sag off Odyssey Sims, and force tough shots from Kelsey Mitchell. They weren't reacting. They were anticipating. That's what happens when your system is predictable. White promised adjustments. What did we see? Same lifeless half-court sets, same telegraphed pick and roll, same post entries defenses feast. Alyssa exposed the team's DNA, and other coaches, they're taking notes. The irony is brutal. Clark was supposed to be the centerpiece. Shoot from anywhere, break defenses, pass in traffic, draw doubles. But what's the point if White traps her in a rigid, broken system? Even if Clark returns, it's plugging a superstar into a disaster. Panic oozes from White's sideline. She's watching, arms crossed, no answers, while assistants like Austin Kelly look more engaged. Players feel it immediately. Boston's slumped shoulders, Mitchell's empty scoring bursts, Hall's fight it can't cover a broken scheme. Once players sense no answers, the locker room can fracture. And Alyssa's words, they cut deepest. We know everything they're about to do. This isn't X's and O's. This is a team exposed, a coach out of ideas, and a superstar trapped in a predictable mess.